What's the good word, y'all? DKB here. So I'm just running through some stuff in the background. Give me a minute real quick, and then we can dive into knocking out our first mock draft of the year, which I only started first doing content maybe about a year, give or take ago. So it's not like basically what I'm trying to get at is I haven't done anything this early so far. Well, hold on. Something I'm tinkering with real quick. Want to see if this works because I definitely want an intro into the live streams. Trying to get a little professional over here. There is a question I'm going to drop in here as well for you guys though, because I want to know which kind of mock simulator we're going to use. All right, check that out. I already got a couple people in here. That's what's up. Appreciate you guys joining. If you're just popping in, I'm just tinkering with some stuff in the background real quick. Pop a quick question into chat so we can figure out which simulator we want to run with to begin with. And then from there, we'll get into all the actual fun. All right, so we have PFF, we have the PFN network, and I think those are usually the two preferred that people have. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's see what you guys want on the mock simulator. Appreciate you guys' patience as well. Again, I'm just tinkering with some stuff in the back end, getting some questions and stuff ready. This isn't going to be super in depth, but I do want to cover the depth chart as a part of this. We will also need to figure out if we want to allow trades for our mock draft. And then, of course, because the kids are going to bed, I have a little Madden going on in the background, and my boys just moved past the wild card round of the playoffs. Lighten it up. My first round receiver went for 7 receptions, 202 yards, and 3 touchdowns in his sophomore year. I'm loving it. And my starting tight end had over 100 receiving yards. That's what's up. We lit him on fire. Toxic. Appreciate you jumping in. Looks like we have PFF from you as the preferred. And that does look like what is currently leading the voting as well. Sweet. I'll let it go for a handful of minutes, and then we'll see what we end up rolling with. Let's say 5 minutes or so. Give myself a little timer there. Sweet, sweet. I am excited, though, guys. I've been having some very dope fans joining the channel lately. I'm very close to that 1K sub mark. Which I don't necessarily care 100% about the monetizing piece. It's just crazy to think that this has been about a year or so, and 1,000 people were willing to sub. Accident, on purpose, friends, family, doesn't matter. It's dope either way. All right, we got 1 vote in. It's looking like just you, Toxic, for PFF. I don't think I have a preference. I want to say I used Pro Football Network last year though, and I don't think I put anything on screen or anything like that. So luckily, I've been diving more into some of the controls for this live streaming and all that. Make it a little bit better for everybody. All right, what is taking so long for this to... Okay. Okay, I think I got what I needed. All right, so I shouldn't need that anymore. And then I think this is what I want to do. Yeah. Dope. Okay, figured it out. Smart guy I am on occasions. Okay, 50-50. We got about just over 3 minutes left. People want to make it interesting. All right, let's get you to an 80 here. Hopefully everybody's having a good night as well. Toxic, they usually update their stuff after free agency. PFF is more accurate right now with the rankings. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I don't think anybody that's tried to chat with me about the mock draft simulators before, since I just didn't know a whole lot and I haven't cared enough to really dive in and research them, their preference just seems to be whatever they ended up, I guess, doing their first mock draft simulator on. Comfortability, right? Who decided they were going to jump in here and make this an even vote? By the way, I'm just putting it out there. Let's just say for the replay value. If anybody is into Madden, I do know at least one or two other boys of mine. They wanted to try to get like a league going or something like that. So if you guys are interested, definitely let me know. Or girls. I played somebody maybe 2 years ago. She was mean on the sticks. And I want to say she was what was her team? Vikings, I think. Yeah, I think it was the Vikings. Purple is really sticking out to me. All right. We got about a minute left. I am really thinking, wow, okay. So Pro Football Network is actually winning at the moment. I'm not going to lie, Toxic. I think I'm leaning in your direction just based off what you told me about these updates being more frequent. Nothing with free agency has really happened. So I guess the question would be, are we saying that, let's say if Derek Carr got cut today, are we saying that we would see him as a free agent and not somebody that we would trade for? It's 50-50 again. Awesome. All right, it's 50-50. The 5 minutes is up. Either way, Toxic, you swayed me. I might do one or two more of these before the season, or I guess before the draft officially comes. So we'll see if we want to switch it up or whatever later. But new question for you guys. All right, so do we want to allow trades? All right, and then let's go ahead and dive into it. So there was some stuff I wanted to run through with you guys just in preparation for the draft. I haven't dived into free agency enough to really speak too much about a lot of the people we could potentially target. It's like 2, maybe 3 positions I'd feel comfortable with. So I figured that'd kind of be a useless exercise. But where is it? Okay. Let's run through our current depth chart. And the way I set this up is this is all based off Spotrac and overthecap.com. These were the current active contracts, which means players currently signed with us. People like Quincy Williams, Quan Alexander, all those guys aren't going to show up on here because we don't currently have them. We would need to get them re-signed. So this kind of gives us a little bit of an idea of exactly what kind of situation we are in when it's coming to the draft. All right, so wide receivers, we pretty much have our full weaponry. Is literally the only position where the only thing we're really considering is cuts, right? So we got our Corey Davis, we got our Mims, we have our Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, we have Berrios, and then we have some of the guys that were practice squad players or they signed like future reserve contracts, things like that with us. So if you aren't familiar with like Rodney Adams, Irvin Charles, Deontay Spencer, that would be the reason why. Bottom tier players we haven't really seen. Jeff Smith technically should fit on here, but I believe he's still on injured reserve and he actually needs to be re-signed, at least based on what Over the Cap and Spotrac told me. Tyler Conklin, CJ, Jeremy, and we have Kenny at tight end. So also a position we don't really have to worry about whatsoever. So that is what it is. Offensive line. This is the holy grail. This is where we have a ridiculous amount of work to do. Clean the glasses real quick one time. All right. So currently we have Mekhi Becton. We still have Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown, I would say, would be a candidate for potential retirement, right? So let me just drop an asterisk there. Laken Tomlinson, the guy we all wish we could immediately eject Cito the contract for. And then again, we got some practice squad, future reserve contract guys, Eric Smith, Chris Glazer. We don't have a center. Connor McGovern is not under contract, and so he's not on here. And then we have AVT recovering from injury, practice squad reserve guy, and Drew. Then we have Max Mitchell, who's coming back from the blood clots, hopefully well. There's no issues there for him. And we have Adam Pankey. Toxic, are we still $2 million over the cap? So from what I've actually seen between the two sites, it looks like we're actually about $3 million over, give or take. But that seems to be like the pretty consistent estimate for where we're at cap space wise. So obviously there's some easy moves that we can make in order to free some money up and try to get some talent in on the offensive line somewhere, but it's still going to be a tough sell. Wide receiver, we talked about. Quarterback, we only have Zach Wilson and Chris Streveler, Joe Flacco, and Mike White are free agents. Nick Bawden, the fullback that we did have, is a free agent, although I'm still looking into if our new coaching staff is even one that really utilizes fullbacks a lot. I feel like Keith Carter in Tennessee did, but I couldn't tell you who the fullback was for the Titans. So, I guess that's saying something. And then at running back, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, we got Bam Knight, and our free agents were Ty Johnson, and I feel like there's another guy I'm missing, James Robinson, right? Unrestricted free or restricted free agent for us. Doubt that we bring him back, but considering we only have 3 running backs on the depth chart, it would depend on, I think the contract he gets is about $2 or $3 million. So if the Jets feel like that's too rich for their blood, then we don't bring him back. But otherwise, I wouldn't say it's a significantly crazy amount of money. And then for defense, we're running our 4-3. We have our full disposal of edge guys, right? Carl Lawson, JFM. We got JJ Clemens. Bradley and he's a guy that I thought was interesting last year, and he just barely missed out on cuts. And then Marquise Spencer was one of the guys I think we picked up the last couple weeks of the season. So we'll see if he can make any noise. Defensive tackle is extremely thin. We have Quentin Williams. You know, I would say let's put an asterisk next to him too. He's under contract. We don't know what that's going to look like. He's definitely going to be playing with us next season, right? But this could be one of those situations where he tries to force his way out, depending on how we handle his contract. Tanzel Smart, he's a guy I liked. I still would have wished we would have kept Jonathan Marshall. Isaiah Mack, again, one of those future contract guys. Linebacker, we're pretty thin as well. Let me move Chaz Surratt up, actually. Jamian Sherwood, CJ Mosley, Hamza Nasruddin, Chaz Surratt. That's what our linebacker core is currently looking like. Cornerback, we're pretty set. The only question marks here is really whether we'll try to trade or ultimately move on from Bryce Hall's contract. Jordan Whitehead could be a potential cap cut at safety. Same thing with Davis. But then that only leaves us with Will Parks and Tony Adams. And, you know, Will Parks is more so a special teams guy for us. So if we had to, Gino, what's good, boss? If we had to make a list priority rise, that's tough. Okay, let's say we need to make a list of priorities here. Let's say, and I'm just going to drop this in a random box. Let's say quarterback, obviously. I personally think center is a more important position than tackle, but they both need to be on here. And then that's technically it for the offense, right? Obviously, we could try to upgrade some spots like Ty Johnson's position at running back. Even with Zach Wilson essentially being our backup quarterback, you can argue us trying to upgrade there. At wide receiver, I'm pretty set, right? Corey Davis is obviously the guy we would look at to see if we want to replace. But that's, you know, story for another day. So quarterback, center, tackle on the offensive side. I would say our number one need on the defensive side is definitely going to be defensive tackle. And then we're probably looking at, I would say safety and then linebacker, because I'm more comfortable in the coaching staff's ability to teach up a linebacker that we bring in. I like Chaz Surratt, and he's been sitting for a couple weeks last year, getting accustomed to the system. And then we'll kind of see, you know, if he's able to make any noise next year. So let me see. What is our poll looking like? It is looking like we want to allow trades. Interesting. Okay. So I will let that go for a little bit longer, but we want to allow trades. Cool. Let me take this so I remember what our needs actually are in the order we wanted to prioritize them. Obviously, quarterback's at the forefront. That doesn't mean I'm expecting us to go out there and use our number 13 pick on a quarterback, but I like to have my ducks in a row and in order. Okay, so we are going with the PFF mock draft. That is where we landed with that. Where did it go? Here we are. All right, so let's move on from that. Let's jump into our actual mock draft screen. This is the only time I wish I actually had multiple monitors at the house again, because it'd be nice to be able to run through a couple screens without shutting one down and jumping to the next. But all right, so we have our mock draft simulator. We have what am I looking at here? Draft orders actual, teams are listed. Why is it skipping around like that, though? Because it's not even in alphabetical order. Why is it skipping around like that? I'm going to go ahead and assume this means that we're just going to do a normal draft in the correct order. And there's not going to be any nut job stuff. Also, I'm curious why it's only letting us do 2 rounds. Marist, what's the good word, boss? All right, don't mind me, guys. I'm tinkering around real quick. I want to see what the deal is because PFF is only giving us 2 rounds to be able to do. I feel like that's a little bit weird, but maybe it's because it's so early on. All right, so here's the play. We can still stick with PFF. According to Toxic, he says it's the most up-to-date thing in terms of like players that are currently rostered, free agents, all that kind of stuff. Or I just checked PFN will actually let us do the 3-round mock draft that we're looking for. So if you guys got a preference, speak your piece. Otherwise, I did promise a 3-round mock draft, so I'll probably end up switching over to PFN. That's weird. I wonder if that's like a glitch in the matrix for them or if that really is just all they're allowing right now. Because that can't be like the amount of players they scouted that they put up or anything like that, right? So 2 rounds, we're talking anything over 64 picks. They have... Let's just go to page 3. Yeah, they have over 60 guys here. Okay. I'm not going to cry over Spill Milk. I just thought it was a little bit weird. Good thing to note. I will check the mock draft simulator next time to see what we have. Terrell, my boy, yes, PFN, it definitely is. I'm not too upset. I did like the reasoning Toxic gave me, but I think it's worth mentioning, as I called out earlier, it shouldn't be a do or die situation. It's so early in free agency. There's not many, if any, significant names really that should be missing or has any kind of weird attachment to it. Hold on, guys. I'm just going back to the PFN. Here we go. Boom. All right, so we are looking at PFN. We're going to do 3 rounds, a normal pace. Our boys, the Jets. And then I'll go ahead and close the poll real quick. But as mentioned, damn, normal is pretty quick. As mentioned, we are going to be looking at trade options. That's trippy. I wonder how slow actually means for them then, because I felt like them 2 picks flew off the board once it stopped lagging. All right, so the Bears decide to build up the defense and not screw Justin Fields over. Texans go Bryce Young. So new head coach DeMeco Ryans gets hopefully his franchise savior. Now, question for you guys. Is there anybody that you would consider we actually need to try to trade up for? Now, personally, I'm going to tell you no. From my opinion, I don't think there's a guy we absolutely need to have that's worth trading up for. But, you know, this is a little bit of a community draft, so I don't want to just exclude anybody. Cardinals, they select Jalen Carter. CJ Stroud comes off next to the Indianapolis Colts. And I want to say they just made their offensive coordinator the Eagles offensive. The Colts' new head coach is the Eagles offensive coordinator, Steichen, something like that, right? So a lot of guys hoping they found the person that can turn their franchise around. Seahawks go edge, Miles Murphy, Anthony Richardson. I keep seeing this guy go high. He is like another Jason, no trade up. Yeah, I'm squarely in your corner, my man. I keep feeling like I see Anthony Richardson going anywhere from as high as the second quarterback taken off the board. And I want to say I've seen him fall to the second round because if I'm remembering correctly, he's the guy that I want to say it was like Ian Davis or somebody was saying we should pick up in the second round as a high risk, low risk, high reward guy, potentially take over for Zach Wilson. I do love him. I don't think I love him that high though. But that Detroit Lions staff looks legit offensively. And it would help them quite a bit to be able to groom somebody behind Jared Goff, who I would love if he couldn't find a way to get a new contract with him. Christian Gonzalez goes to the Raiders. Falcons get Quentin Johnson. Will Levis comes off the board. Panthers get their guy. Joey Porter goes to the Eagles. I'm seeing them get mocked cornerbacks quite a bit too. And they have needs that are going to pop up all over the place, right? Salary cap is going to look crazy, extremely quick for them. And they have a bunch of guys on the offensive and defensive line that they need to look at, let alone guys like Gardner Johnson, who a lot of people are arguing they're just absolutely going to sign 100%. Titans go Paris Johnson. I haven't seen a mock draft yet where we don't still have this guy on the board. Jordan Addison goes to the Texans. The Bills will give us pick 27 and pick 59 so we're swapping first. Pick 112 is, I want to say, our fourth round pick. Which, by the way, I hope our timer isn't going off right now. All right, so what do you guys think? The Bills want to swap first round picks. We go late in the first round. And I'm checking pick 112. I'm pretty sure that's the fourth round. We don't have a pick 112. We have a pick 109, at least according to Pro Football Network. Which I'm looking at an article they just dropped a month ago, so I don't know why anything there would change. That's weird. Take the trade. 112 is in the fourth. Boy. Swap first. Go to a late first round draft selection. And then pick 59 is in the second round for them. So we swap first. We get a first the following year. And we get a late round second pick. I feel like this is a no-brainer, but I'm also trying to gather in my head who the guy for me would be. See the other first. I don't think it's going to let us see the other pick until, hold on, actually. Let me do the smart thing and look at the full screen. The Bengals will give us their 28th, so just a slot behind. We don't have to offer up any other picks. They're going to give us, I'm imagining that's their fourth round pick as well, and then we get a first round next year. Okay, so the way this works out, we go late in the first round either way. We lose our fourth round pick with the Bills, but we do get an additional pick in the second round as well as a first next year. With the Bengals, we go late in the first round. They'll give us a pick next year, and then we pick up a fourth rounder. I feel like I'm liking the Bills offer a little bit more than what the Bills are actually it's nice to not lose a pick in this trade as well, but I do like the option of having that additional second rounder. Now, in my brain, the way my current thought process was, we could take an edge. It was really edge or tackle. Edge or tackle would have been the two positions I would have been looking at. I do like Brian. I forget his name. What is it? Brian Bresse? Bresse. Trenton Simpson's a popular pick, but I'm leaning very heavily on the fact that Robert Saleh has already said he doesn't really draft safeties and linebackers in the first round unless they're unicorns. And I don't think those guys are unicorns. Obviously, tackle is going to be a huge option as well here. This is one of the few mock drafts I've seen Skoronski still on the board. I don't want to help the Bills either, but I do also know they are in cap hell, and it would be nice for them to not have to it'd be nice to not see them get a pick in the second round again. Also, I think we win that trade, I'd say. Counter. Let's see. So I wonder if they would take pick 145 instead of pick 112. These are Madden tactics, right? Get them the next lowest value pick and see what happens. Realistically, in my head, I'm trying to think. 13 is not top tier. We do have, again, Brian Bresse. We have the Brian defensive tackle guy. Yeah, they are looking for running back. I don't know if they would be. People raved about Breece Hall last year, and I know Bijan Robinson, a lot of people are saying is like on another level, but I'm trying to think in my head, would they really take a top 15 running back? Otherwise, I'm still not scared of any of the other options. Maybe they go edge. Once Von Miller got injured, their pass rush kind of fell off the edge. Let's see if they'll take 145. I think we're definitely going to make this trade try to work. Propose this trade. They declined it. So we either take that option or we don't. I'm going to go ahead and say let's do the trade. Let's drop. They wanted Jackson Smith. I don't know why I didn't think of that as an option. That's tough. I've heard a lot of people say that Jackson Smith was the best wide receiver out of the trio of Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. Obviously, he had that stupid game. That what did he do? Over 200, like 3 or 4 touchdowns in one of the bowl games. I think his rookie year. Wow, Jackson Smith. Okay. This is where you have to love the fact that we have some lockup cornerbacks. Okay, so we currently have an extra second. I'm curious what they said our team needs actually are real quick too. They put us at guard, safety, cornerback, edge, defensive tackle. That is crazy. I would have thought offensive line would have been like the first three needs for them. Okay, Tyree Wilson, the edge, goes to the Patriots. Packers go Skoronski. I think they're trying to work on a replacement for Bulaga, so that makes sense. Cam Smith to the – I still want to call them the Redskins, the Commanders. Keely Ringo to the Steelers. I know they love their DBs. Lions. Where are you guys going? They make a trade to the Giants. They pick up the 25th and the 50th. Okay, so they gave up a first and a second rounder. Giants go linebacker. I would have thought they tried to get some significant help for – I would have thought the Giants tried to get some significant help for Daniel Jones. He's 100% coming back to them. I imagine they can find a way to keep Saquon Barkley. He's already said he's not looking to reset the market. And seeing a guy like Michael Mayer still there, I would have thought would have been an easy go-to for them. Damn, that's nuts. Jason, damn, they took the wrong player. My bad. No. You're good. I'm not relying 100% on you guys anyways. I just kind of want the input. But I forgot Jackson Smith was that high. Either way, though, it doesn't – I'm not worried too much about what's happening in the first round. Now, if they start – if stuff starts stacking up crazy and we see like the Bills come back up and trade for like a Bijan Robinson or something, that's when I'll be a little concerned. Otherwise, though, it is what it is. Another edge goes to the Bucks. They don't look to replace Tom Brady right away, at least with a significant resource. Seahawks go safety with Brian Branch. I know they can't be low. I know they can't be low on Jamal Adams, right? So stacking the depth, preparing for the future. We might be able to snag Brissett. I want to say maybe the Ravens and maybe the Jags would probably be the only guys I see snatch him up. Giants didn't take the wide receiver. I don't think there's who's the next even highest rated guy? Next higher rated guy is Jalen Hyatt, at least according to this. So I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised it wasn't Michael Mayer. That guy seems like he could be one of those next elite tight ends. Chargers go Broderick Jones. Cornerback Osiris Torrance comes off. I would have loved to seen him too. And I told you guys, Jacksonville. They took Brian. I have a love-hate relationship with mock drafts. I wasn't trading up though. That definitely wasn't happening. I wasn't going down just to have to go back up. Hold on, guys. I will be right back in 2 shakes. I need to change the air for the babies. Okay. Broderick Jones to the Chargers. I get that pick. That makes complete sense. Try to continue to build a fortress around Herbert. The Ravens go defensive with a cornerback. Again, makes sense. They did try to invest a lot last season in both the lines, so I'm sure they can try to find some value somewhere else. Vikings go Torrance. I'm not necessarily as upset that he went to the Vikings. It didn't really matter where he went. I think he would have been a good pick either way, but I don't know how much you necessarily say guard is a vital need for us. We have AVT. Anything can happen with his recovery. We have Laken Tomlinson, obviously what looked like a terrible signing. He could bounce back next year, but you can always try to have a guy in like round 2 or 3, or maybe it's a little bit more appropriate to say this guy might not find a way to start right away. Let's go DT. You're looking at Ika. Let me find who you're talking about. I feel like that name rings a bell. It's something crazy, right? Siaki Ika from Baylor. Jaguars screw me. I definitely think I was leaning towards Brian if he was there for us. I think I would love the prospect of seeing him line up next to Quinnen. Okay, so let's see what's happening. Lions, they traded back. They go safety. We have another trade offer. 3 of them, actually. So we can drop into the 3rd round and pick up. Okay, so that's not happening. Tell you guys now, I'm not dropping into the 3rd just to pick up an extra 1st and a 4th. Reject. The Lions want to trade up again. They're willing to give us the 16th pick in the 2nd round and a 1st next year. That's intriguing. Only because that means we'd have 3 first-round picks next year. But obviously, I'm not playing mastermind GM here. He's big but not very mobile. Good for our system. Jason, are you talking about Brian? I heard he's one of the most, because I remember seeing an article from him last year. I heard he was one of the most athletically gifted tackles in the class. Terrell Van Ness is good. I'm not going to do this Lions trade either. And then Tennessee. Okay, so basically all of these picks were dropping out of the first round, and then people were willing to offer up picks for next year. Okay, so Antonio Johnson went to the Lions. I actually like this guy a lot, but I was thinking he would be there in the second round potentially. Jahmyr Gibbs, good for the Cowboys. They look to try to retool and save Ezekiel's legs a little bit. Interesting, though, because I've been hearing rumors that Tony Pollard might be what they consider like their new running back of the future as well. I would take that if I was playing Mastermind GM. Wow, wait. If I was on my Madden right now, I would totally jump at it. But if you guys are running a little bit late, right? Or coming into this a little bit behind anyway. So we showed the depth chart. The depth chart basically showed all of our current active contracts. So guys like Quan and Quincy, kicker Stephen Gostkowski, those guys, they weren't on our depth chart because we need to try to re-sign them or they'll hit free agency. So our depth chart was very thin. To let you guys know, and I'll drop it here in the chat again, we said these were the official needs that we were looking at in level of like importance to some degree. Louis, what up, dog? The guard Torrance. Yeah, Jason. I got you. Torrance, not very mobile, not a good fit for our system. That's true, but in the same token, I know Nate Herbig didn't set the world on fire, but I didn't think he was going to be a good fit either. I don't remember what the height was, but I want to say he was like 6'6" and then playing at like 340-ish. And I know we like our guys to be like athletic, be able to get out there and, get to them zones we want to block. So if the talent is there technical wise, I feel like a team would be willing to make it work. But also, we don't know what the new scheme is necessarily going to look like with Keith Carter coming in. So we know it's still going to be a West Coast zone running, but maybe they want to switch up how they were attacking some of these defenses. All right, so those are the needs that we are looking at. The needs of the many. We're on the clock. We got 3 very bad trade offers. Bijan Robinson, I would love to have 100%. I'm not picking him, so don't go crazy in the comments on me. But imagine being able to let us. Basically, my thought process would be, right, if the Browns can make it work with Nick Chubb and slap me. What's the other guy I'm missing? Nick Chubb and it is right there on the tip of my tongue. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. There we go. If the Browns can make it work with those two, then there's no reason that we wouldn't be able to. Granted, I'm not going that way. That is a total waste of a pick in terms of our needs based on how much that would improve the roster. But I also am not going Michael Mayer, the tight end, because while I do believe in best player available, I do think the coaching staff said it best, that it is always best player available, but best player available for what makes sense for the team. And we can move on from CJ or Tyler Conklin next year to make room for a guy like Meyer. And then you can go into the second and third year with like Conklin, Meyer, Ruckert, or CJ, Meyer, Ruckert, something like that. But again, I think that's a luxury that we can't really necessarily afford. Although, again, checking up on some recent reports, and Michael Mayer was a guy that they said can pretty much he can handle duties in an excellent manner, inline, split out wide tight end. He can run some like hybrid fullback stuff. Thoughts on the Jalen Hurts Hail Mary? You guys would kill me, but I'm on the West Coast once again. I got 2 babies running around under 3, so I did not get a chance to watch the game. I have not even watched the highlights yet. My boy Gino sent me some of the shenanigans, like the hold at the end and all that. But I can't give you my thoughts. If it's at the very end of the game, because I thought the Chiefs finished it out with the field goal, but maybe there's a couple seconds left. What else are you going to do, right? All you have left in your bag is some trick play type stuff going on. So, sad way to go out. Jalen Hurts is a beast. Either way, though, very good Super Bowl. My Jets in this Madden playoff round, divisional round, are struggling, yo. We crushed the wild card round, but we are struggling. All right, back to business. So, we are not trading back. The best running back, the best tight end are not going to be joining our team. We know we have at least pressing needs at quarterback, center, tackle, defensive tackle, safety, and linebacker, essentially in that order. I would probably say we can wait and grab a weapon in the third and fourth round. So I'm not worried about tight end. Linebacker, I'm not really looking at until the third round. Maybe the same thing with safety. And so really it's the offensive line versus the best defensive tackle that maybe we can get. Anton Harrison was a guy when I was chatting it up with Brian Kelly. He was extremely high on him as a guy that's pretty technically refined and feels like still has a lot of room for significant improvement. He was also very high on Cody Mock, though, saying that he was like his number one rated tackle. So, everything with a grain of salt. I also really like Darnell Washington, by the way, at tight end. So maybe if he's there somehow crazily in like the second round, we snag him. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. DeJuan Jones might end up being the pick for me. I'm hoping it slipped out of his hand. Either that or that shoulder is. No. Okay. I will watch the highlights after we shut down this stream. Guaranteed. Because now I'm intrigued. Anton Harrison is the best pass blocker in this draft. So people would say. 6'5", 315, good foot speed, smooth agility, explosive athlete in space. I just really, this is where I hate the Madden GM in me, because everything in my soul says slap Mekhi Becton along with DeJuan Jones and watch them just beat people over the head when we want to attack the outside edges. So what I can tell you guys, because he's one of the guys I scouted the most so far when I was checking out guys, especially from the Senior Bowl. He's a former two-sport athlete. He also played basketball. So for what it's worth, my man's out here dunking. He does have pretty good agility for his size and all that kind of good stuff. The knock on him is his pass blocking ability in terms of he doesn't do well with like leverage often and hand placement, that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't say he's a liability. And again, this is the guy that had the longest wingspan ever recorded in the Senior Bowl. Okay, so here's going to be my options because let me see, but I'm not in love with the defensive tackle right now. I know Ika was thrown out there as like a name, but let me put it out there. So we can go tackle Anton Harrison or we can go DeJuan Jones. Those are going to be the two picks. I'm going to throw it in chat for a second. We'll see what you guys are thinking. I'll take either one. I think I'm leaning towards DeJuan Jones, to be honest. Mekhi Becton was a risk when we looked at his weight. Otherwise, talent-wise, he wasn't a risk. That's pretty much the same situation with DeJuan Jones, although Mekhi Becton had injury concerns, whereas Jones has only missed one season. Also, I don't remember a whole lot about Anton Harrison, but DeJuan Jones at least has position versatility. He was able to play a little bit of left tackle, mostly right tackle the last 2 seasons. I don't know if Anton can say the same. But I think either one of these are a huge win for us, so it's not really like we're missing out. Did they give the age? They didn't. DeJuan, I think, is only 22. Harris. I'm stressed. Imagine being in the war room and you only got 2 minutes to try to run through all of this. Or, sorry, what is it, 15 minutes? Jones, we can't roll the dice on a shaky line again, or we are spending cash on one-armed vets right before the season. GVH, I feel you. I don't think either one of these guys are significantly better than the other one, though. DeJuan Jones is currently winning the vote. I'm not mad. I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, I would pick DeJuan Jones anyways. I'm also curious now about the PFF simulator, though, because I've seen DeJuan Jones available in the second round a lot. And I don't want to risk it because we're picking, the 11th pick in the second round. I don't think he's going to fall there. All right, let me see where we're at. So DeJuan Jones is winning. That's going to be our pick. DeJuan Jones is our guy to be the left tackle of the future, depending on what happens with Mekhi Becton. He could potentially play right away. But this is going to be the man for us. We now have 2 monsters at tackle, and Mekhi Becton and DeJuan Jones. All right, let's see. So to finish out the first round, Bengals go edge. Interesting. So they either go crazy in free agency. And try to sign some pretty solid offensive linemen again, which I've been on the record saying I don't think there's going to be many great options. Or they don't care about Joe Burrow's life. Saints go safety. Eagles get them another wide receiver. Chiefs go edge. Ooh, Bijan Robinson still on the board. Michael Myers still on the board. Obviously, both of these guys are going to fly off here very, very quick. If they're still on the board, I'm grabbing one of them. It 100% doesn't matter to me. We're grabbing one of those guys if they're there at pick 11 for us. Anton Harrison goes to the Steelers. This just something about his name just rings Steelers to me anyways. But I definitely feel like they probably would have went DeJuan if he was there for some reason. Somebody got docked the draft pick, right? That's why we only have 31 in the first round. I feel like it was the Dolphins. Yeah, it was them. Okay. Thought I was tripping for a minute. Is that Minnesota center still on the board? Yeah, so no centers have gone off the board. I want to say you're talking about John Michael Smith. No. Yeah. John Michael Smith, right? Yeah. He's still on there. He's only rated in the second or third round, depending on who you talk to either way, though. So I always fully expected him to be on the board. Now we need Chris Ivory to come back, go ground and pound. If only. Miami with their boat talking ass lots of it. Yeah. That's what I thought. The AFC East is just full of shenanigans. I think everybody else has some kind of like crazy like situation tied to them. And I don't really recall the Jets having anything. Not to say we're perfect. I want to say we had one of our assistant coaches like 6 years back try to trip somebody on the line, if I remember, on like a kickoff return. But okay, Michael Mayer ended up going off the board. Couple edges go. Devon Witherspoon, Rams get themselves a cornerback. Wide receiver to the Eagles. Darnell Wright goes to Oakland. Darnell Washington goes to the Titans. They do get a guy that I like. We just miss out on Ika. The Browns take him. Bijan Robinson lasts all the way till the Panthers on pick 41. Interesting. The Patriots want to swap picks with us, so we can drop back 3 picks, and basically we move up in the. So basically we move 3 picks back now. We move up quite a few picks in the 4th round. Juicy. Rex and the toes. That's facts, but I meant something that would have impacted like the rest of the AFC East. Unless other people were worried about their foot fetishes coming out, I don't think that was a huge distraction. Quite a bit of willing and dealing. We picked up 1 extra second rounder from the Bills. We're not really picking up anything else extra here. We're just improving our draft position, which I want to say pick 145 is a pick that we got from the Bills anyways. Let me see who's on here. We can grab a linebacker. We can try to grab the next best defensive tackle, which, to be honest, I haven't done a lot of homework on any of these guys. We can grab the center that we want. And I don't think the Patriots need a center, but you can never count them out. They always do weird stuff. I really wanted Cole Strange, which I thought was going to be there in like the 3rd round. And then they made him their 1st round pick. So what are we going to do? Jason, I'm with you. I think I like the fact that we're only going to drop 3 picks. I don't think John Michael Smith is going to leave. If he does, though, there is another center I'm high on, and he's just not as highly rated, at least at the moment. We're going to do the trade. Let's drop 3 picks. We'll improve significantly in the 4th. And Drew Sanders. Okay, so they wanted a linebacker. Cornerback goes. Wide receiver goes. I'm not doing any more picks. No more trades. At least for this pick right here. PFM loves throwing in these future picks, though. Okay, so we can try to invest in linebacker right now. The kid from Alabama here, I have been hearing him quite a bit, and my understanding is a lot of people expect him to rise to maybe a low first rounder anyways. I don't want to invest in wide receiver right now. I think we can wait till that second pick that we have in round 2 or in round 3. I think this is where we go ahead and try to grab our center, though. Also, I think I still got that poll up, so let me drop that. All right, so options-wise, I'm thinking we can go linebacker. Right now, we only have 5 guys under contract. C.J. Mosley is the best of them, and then we're looking at Jamian, Najruddin, and Chaz Surratt. I think linebacker is on the table here. I don't know about the defensive tackles, and that is a huge need. I don't know about this kid, though, so maybe Javon Dexter is the pick. I would imagine defensive tackles may be a little bit less of a need, though, depending on what happens in free agency. Center, though, is going to be a huge need. And if we miss out on John Michael, the only other guy I like is the Oluwatimi kid from Michigan. Not the only guy I like, but he's up there for me. Okay, so I think here's the plan. We're not going to go defensive tackle this early because I think we do try to go out and sign some pretty solid guys, and maybe we still invest a mid-round pick. Linebacker, I would imagine we keep Quan if Quincy prices himself out, but I'm still not high on picking a guy this early. I'm going to say we pick the best center in John Michael Smits, or we go and we pick ourselves a edge rusher. Those are the options. We're going to go best center in John Michael Smits, or we're going to go edge. And I like Andre Carter II here a little bit better, but it's whatever. We can debate that. What you guys are here talking about? What are the options? We gave those. No linebacker, center is the position. After saying, yeah, man, I've been in love with the centers the last couple of years. Creed Humphrey, obviously the boy the Ravens snatched last year. And there was another guy I liked from like 2 years ago. Caden Smith, what are the safety options? Not great from what I recall. Brown from Penn State. Jordan Battle or Trey Dean III are really 2 guys that I'm a little bit more familiar with out of this little list here. Jordan Battle, I would probably say, would be the target, and I think we can get him with our second rounder. So I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and pick our guy, John Michael here. Let's go ahead and make that a thing. Christopher Smith is a good fit for our scheme. Battle doesn't seem like he's a fit. Is Christopher Smith one of the safeties I passed on here? From Georgia. Yeah, I don't know, guys. This was the tough part because I was confident enough being about 3 rounds deep, but that was more so just a lot of offensive line guys. And it was a lot of obviously the two safeties I mentioned, a couple linebackers, and some edge guys. Otherwise, there's just a couple names floating around in my head. We're gonna go John Michael here. Let's not beat around the bush. We grab our tackle of the future. We grab our center of the future, regardless of what we do with Connor McGovern. And I am starting to think it's a little bit more realistic than not that we re-sign him. Commanders get a running back. Tucker Kraft to the Lions. Derek Hall goes to the Steelers. Chargers get themselves a receiver. Dolphins trade themselves out of the second round to the Broncos. They pick up a third and a fourth. Hendon Hooker goes to the Bucks. Okay. Who did they grab in the first? Am I missing it? They got an edge in the first, and then they came back and grabbed what they think is their quarterback of the future. Andre Carter goes to the Lions. Okay. Cody Mock goes to the Lions. And then we're back on the board. Am I tripping, or is there no timer on here either? For this pick, okay, I seen it late, but it sounds like I made the good move there. Okay, so we have our second pick. Linebacker, I'm still not sold on. We still do have Gervon Dexter at DT here. Let me see if I can recall any of the other names. Byron Young, I'm semi-familiar with. Keanu Benton. The rest of these names look like hieroglyphics to me. Well, we're only doing 3 rounds, so that's fine. Best edge, Lions took Andre Carter from me. They also took Cody Mock, who I would have liked. Jalen Duncan is still on the board. Which, keep in mind, I know I'm going through offensive line guys again, but we need starters and depth. So, oh, it's a sad state of affairs. Best guard, Jared Patterson is still around. We just got our center, so we need to look there. Sewell would be a good linebacker. Wide receiver could be good. My pick would be Christopher Smith. Yeah, we have to go. I think linebacker is still too early. I want to say 3rd round is really probably the highest I see us investing. And I'm just trying to think about realistically what Robert Saleh and them are probably considering. But they just don't seem fans of investing like top tier picks at linebacker unless they just really think there's a guy with just elite physical traits. So we'll probably need to wait till like RAS scores come out in order to really see if there's a guy they just get blown away by. Noah Sewell, I am familiar with. I do think would probably be a good option for us, but again, in the 3rd. We never got our guard, so I do like the idea of Jared Patterson. And if he's not ready to take over right away, then that's fine. Hopefully Laken Tomlinson makes improvements anyways. 2 years of a trash contract with him would be pretty abysmal. Yeah, I don't think I'm loving any other names on here. So, and we got the 1 pick in round 3. Best safety. It's the guy from Penn State, according to them. All of this in mind, if we just want to think about value, seems like a little bit of a reach. 76 is what they have. 74 is where Jordan. 79 for Christopher Johnson. He's a guy you sound pretty confident in. I am not against it, but the only rhyme and reason would be the fact that you can never go wrong with trying to get championship pedigree guys. Dexter's the best option at this point. GBH, you think we need to go linebacker. That's true, but I'm trying to think in my head again. How big of a gap is it between Noah Sewell and them getting a guy that has all the offensive tools they like, or all the physical requirements later on? The theme that I keep hearing is that they don't need much of anything from the linebacker group in terms of technical refinement. They just need the physical traits, and they'll kind of like beat that into them. Smith's a ball hawk free safety. Yeah, I seen a little tidbit about nobody grabbing more safeties than him. I'll need to check up on safeties in like the next week or two and actually get a little bit of a better grip on that. I still like Tony Adams as like a sneaky favorite though. I think we re-up on Rankins. I have heard that. I also heard we take a shot on like a Hargrove or something crazy like that. But again, I did this without us going through like free agency contracts or anything crazy. So who knows? I'm not willing to just do a shot in the dark on a guy like Javon Dexter. And if we can find a guy like Jonathan Marshall and we thought we could have coached him up, then I'm confident that defensive line is just always going to be one of those positions that are stacked anyways, that we're forcing people to fight and elevate their game for. I say I'm fine, even though I've been arguing this point, taking Noah Sewell. Jarrett Patterson is on the board for me while we're still thinking about investing in the line. And I say it's too early for Christopher Smith, but I would be willing to I don't think we would trade up for a safety, but I'd be willing to trade up for him. So let's say Noah Sewell or Jarrett Patterson are the two names we're looking at. I forgot about this. I love Ivan Pace Jr. I've been checking out more and more about the kid from Cincinnati, and I've been loving what I've been hearing. I haven't been able to check up on the tape, but I have been loving what I've been hearing. Marvin Mims, I think it's a little early for a wide receiver. I don't even know if we focus on a weapon in the first 3 rounds, realistically. I'm going to say all right, yeah. Let's make it between those two guys. It's going to either be the guard, Jarrett Patterson, or it's going to be the linebacker, Noah Sewell. We've already grabbed ourselves our tackle in DeJuan Jones. We have grabbed our center in John Michael Schmitz. Jason, you don't think Sewell is a second-round talent? That must be the same for the Henry. Boy, I'm not going to butcher that. But that must be the same thought process for Henry from Alabama then, yeah? Which I've been seeing mocked a lot in like the third round, which is why I didn't include him. We're not grabbing a tight end. We're not reaching on a safety right now. We're not grabbing a running back. Defensive tackle would be nice, but I don't know enough about the guys here necessarily. This guy has a bit more of the size on him, but he's not necessarily going to be a space eater. And I'm trying to think, how much do we necessarily do to the offensive line in free agency? We get AVT, Laken Tomlinson, Mekhi Becton essentially locked in for the year. We have DeJuan Jones now on one side of the tackle unit. We have John Michael either starting or at least backing up Connor McGovern if we re-sign him. Jason, I want to take your suggestion on Dexter so bad, but I don't know if I see that happening. I also don't know if I see us spending 3 straight picks on offensive line. And we know that defensive tackle is also a need. So the question would be, would they rather take the guy with a little bit more size, but he has the physical traits they may be looking for with Dexter versus a guy like Kalijah here? Which I don't think they take an undersized guy. I know they tried to spit that whole I know they tried to give us that whole like song and dance when who was it that we hold on, I'm trying to think in my head. Who plays at a lighter weight at defensive tackle? Is it Shepard? Oh, I think they just meant as a whole. Yeah. We were lighter as a whole, and they played the whole song and dance about either way. It's going to be tough to run against us. Okay. I don't think we go 3 straight picks with an offensive lineman. I'm going to take the chance on it, Jason. So shout outs to you on this one. We're going to go Javon Dexter. Kalijah goes right after. Henry, Noah, they fly off the board. Jared Patterson, Jalen Duncan. Now we're seeing a lot of the lineman guys go. Ivan Pace gets snatched up. I hate the Broncos. Ivan Pace I really love. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to be diving into him quite a bit here soon. I don't even know if I'll drop a video for it, but I'm loving that guy quite a bit. Okay, so safety is really going to be the next selection here for us. This is our final pick in this draft. And Christopher Smith seems like the guy that my boy Caden is sold on. And him being a Georgia Bulldog champion, he's undersized, but he's not it's not anything crazy, and I'm sure the speed and everything makes up for it. I do like a guy that has a nose for the football. So he's the target. If I see a safety come off the board in one of these next 4 picks before we go, I am trading up to try to secure him, as much as I don't want to. Luke Weipler, Warren McClendon. All right, we're on the board. We have the guy I'm not taking any trades. Christopher Smith is going to be our guy. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm watching this run through, and I can't even say I see a name where I'm just like, oh no, why didn't we get him? Obviously, it's early. We'll get a lot more familiar with a lot of these names and guys that we just gotta have. But I think we did very, very well. So we traded back with the Buffalo Bills. We get to pick 27. We grab ourselves a very good tackle, I'm assuming, in DeJuan Jones. I love the guy. The mass, the size, the wingspan on its own, I think will do a lot of justice for us. We trade back again 3 picks with the Patriots. We're able to grab ourselves our center of the future, hopefully our center of the right now as well. But if we re-sign McGovern, he doesn't really have position versatility. I don't think John Michael necessarily does either. And so do we really, it's not crazy, but I don't know if they'd be willing to let $22 million or so for whatever McGovern's contract is sit on the bench. Pace is a baller. Yeah, man. Everything I've been checking out definitely says so. And I'm sure Sauce will be able to give the coaching staff a lot of input on him anyways. I'm hyped if we can find a way to get him on the team. Javon Dexter. This was a pick courtesy of my boy Jason. You seem to know at least a pretty decent amount about the talent they're just going to bring to the roster. We know defensive tackle was looking pretty thin for us. So I don't mind that shot in the dark considering we've already grabbed 2 future pieces on our line. I don't see us making that 3 picks in a row. And then we get our safety of the future, courtesy of my boy Caden. And he seems like he's going to be a turnover beast. So if nothing else, I think that'd be good competition. Christopher Smith versus Tony Adams at free safety. If we do grab somebody like a Gardner Johnson, that's either a direct replacement for Jordan Whitehead or somebody that can offer some pretty good competition there. Or, I don't know, somebody's got to go, but we want to increase the talent level across the board. And we still came away with the first next year, courtesy of Buffalo. So I think this was a very successful start to a draft for us. I don't think there's anybody we necessarily missed out on where I was like, this guy's clearly better than the person we picked. We grabbed the top center. We grab one of the most highly rated tackles. Javon Dexter, I couldn't tell you about. Christopher Smith, I couldn't tell you about, but I at least love what I've seen and heard from Christopher Smith. Javon Dexter, Jason, I'm sold on it. It is what it is. I'll check him out later tonight and kind of what they're talking about with him. But he's rated 2nd round for a reason, right? That was pretty fun in my opinion. I'm going to throw the depth chart back on real quick just so for people that didn't see it originally, you guys know what I was talking about in regards to how thin we're looking. And then we will wrap this up. All right, so offensively, wide receiver, tight end, we're solid. Basically, the only reason to really talk about those positions is to replace some of these guys on the back end like Rodney, Deontay, Jeff Smith, Braxton, Irvin, that we feel like maybe we can find a clear upgrade for. Same thing with tight end, unless you feel like you can get clearly better than a Kenny Yeboah, or Jeremy Ruckert. Doesn't make sense. We do add DeJuan Jones somewhere in this picture. We add John Michael Smith somewhere at center. Just depending on what we do. We didn't get ourselves a guard. That was kind of overkill in terms of just hitting the offensive line so heavy. We get ourselves a DT to pencil in somewhere in the first or second string, ideally, with Dexter. That was our boy's name, right? Yeah, Jermon Dexter. And then we get ourselves a safety, Christopher Smith. But it looks bleak. It looks bleak. If you're looking at some of these names and you don't like the positions they're in, again, we are missing quite a few people. That is because I only included people that currently actually have a active contract with the Jets. And so there are quite a few gaping holes there. But this will be better probably in about 3 weeks to like a month when we try to run through this again. I'm hoping the Jets flight squad is going again by then. That way, it'll be a lot more fun hearing my boy Gino and Gunny's opinions on kind of what we're looking at. But I appreciate you guys. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the draft class. What kind of grade would you slap on it right now? I would say personally, for being honest, I'm going to give it a B grade. We grab the best center. We grab, let's say, one of the top 5 tackles. I don't know where we land with defensive tackle and safety, but I think we played our cards right. Either way, though, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get back to doing the parenting thing and trying to relax before work, and I will catch you guys again. But I appreciate it. The channel is growing, so hopefully we will start having plenty of more people drop into these live streams as well. But you guys are awesome. I appreciate everything, and I will catch you guys again. Peace.